Good morning. I'm John Kosar from Asbury Research, and I'm here today to go over one of our 10 keys to this week for the U.S. stock market for the week of August 22nd, 2016. First, a little bit about the report itself. It's actually available on the Interactive Brokers platform as well as on the Asbury Research website. Keys to this week looks at a lot of data, a lot of different charts, a lot of different series here and abroad, and comes up with, we believe, are the 10 most important and most market influential metrics to watch for the upcoming week. And many, if not most of these metrics are farther looking out than 1 week. Our typical strategic time period is 3 months, but this is what we think is most important to track for this particular week. So as we go through the report and through the conclusion section, and we get to the matrix section that takes those 10 keys and organizes them into near and intermediate term positive and negative categories. Then we actually list the 10 keys to this week in the order of their importance with a little bit of background on each one. And then finally we get to our accompanying charts. The chart I wanted to talk to you about today has to do with ETF asset flows. What we have here is the cash S&P 500 here, the spot index up here, going back to about mid-January. And down underneath it is the total net assets invested in the SPDR, which is the S&P SPDR ETF. And what we have noticed is that when assets go up, assets expand, the index goes up. When assets start to contract, the index goes down. We actually put a 21-day moving average over these total net assets because we want a monthly indication of what the trend is. Is it a trend towards expansion or is it a trend towards contraction? And here you can see in the green here, in the rightmost green highlighted area, that we've had a monthly trend of expansion in the SPDR's assets since the 1st of July. And we've had a nice little rally here, but the rally is stalled. And note how these assets have stalled a little bit too. They're right up against the 21-day moving average. If we get any further contraction in these assets that takes them below the moving average, this is likely to trigger some kind of a pullback, which could extend into September. You can see the last time that we had a period of monthly contraction was between April 29th and July 1st. You can see the first thing that happened is the S&P 500 stopped going up. And then finally we had a brief decline into the end of June, and that's when we started things up again as these assets started to expand. So again, this is one of 10 different keys to this week, but one that we think is really important to watch here over the near term. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. And again, before we finish, the entire report is available on the Interactive Brokers platform as well as via the Asbury Research website. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.